Hi, this is Cindy from Part-Time Permies, and today I'm just going to give you a little update on what's going on around here. Gelo, who's behind me somewhere, Gelo just had his vet appointment yesterday. It was just a regular routine follow-up appointment with the regular vet, not the neurologist. But he's lost 15 pounds, which is nice because he gained 30 while on high dose of prednisone. He's still on prednisone, even though we keep trying to take him off of it. But we are down to like 5 milligrams twice a week. So hardly anything, really, especially for his size. He's got super dry skin, so we're doing some tests. But we weighed him. His max weight was 155. His ideal weight is probably about 125, and he's now at 140. So we're getting there. It helps to be on a much, much lower dose of prednisone. But so he's doing well, and I'm just going to show you around a little bit. Jelly, you're going to stay here. You don't have your working stuff on. I'm sorry. He was about to sneak out the gate, which he doesn't usually do when he doesn't have his harness on. But just to show you around, the chickens are enjoying themselves. They have a few food scraps over there by the leaf pile just to keep them interested in that leaf pile and to help it break down, add some nitrogen to it. They've been digging up a little bit right around the blueberry bushes out here. And I was thinking that maybe I'll plant some strawberries around them. I don't know. I have some seeds to start strawberries. I'll have to take a look at those. I've never actually planted the strawberry seeds and started them from seeds. I always bought plants. So we'll see how that goes. Thinking about it. I kind of want a couple more blueberry bushes too. It's been raining all weekend. It feels like April. Hey, it's going to be good for the land because we didn't really have a huge amount of snow this season. We had a bunch in December, but it really has not been an extremely snowy season. So we do need the moisture because our land is all sand and it drains very quickly. Just to give you another update here, this is my silkie mama with her one chick. Chick's got some feathers coming in. No longer completely cream colored. So she's going to have a variety of colors. It looks like some wing feathers and tail feathers are coming in. Still got the fuzzy head. And I threw an apple core in there and Mama went nuts. She was so excited about it. But I'll probably move their coop again tomorrow. Since only the two of them are in here, they're not really digging a heck of a lot of the grass up. Plus, they're not fertilizing as quickly compared to when I have a bigger clutch. So, but they're doing well. The baby's been very active. Recent video that went up was adjusting this coop over here, and then the girls seem to be doing just fine going up and down that ramp. They're enjoying that. I threw some food scraps in here too, so they've been snacking on that. Pulled some yes, hi Leapy. Pulled some weeds from the other garden and threw them in. I was trying to figure out if this one weed was chickweed. I heard the way to tell is because chickweed is this tiny little plant, really edible, basically a weed. But we have all this stuff here. And the way to tell is supposed to have single row of little hairs growing up one side of it. The problem is it's so tiny. It's just so hard to tell. And I think I see one row of hairs. Most of this does not. And they said between each segment between the leaves, it'll change its position. So that might be why it's harder to find too. I see one on one section. So this might be chickweed, which is very edible. The chickens definitely love it. I've been pulling it and throwing it over. It's not very big over here, but it's definitely... Actually, last fall, I had one of my nursery coops in here and blocked it off. So they had this whole section, and they basically tilled it up and ate most of the leftovers last fall through here. So it was pretty barren ground. So I know chickweed is pretty much a plant that loves disturbed soil. So I believe it might be, which it's not very big. It might get bigger. We'll see. I know it's a tiny plant anyway, but with how much is here, we'll see how it grows. Hugel culture bed is still sitting here. What I do need to do, though, is last fall is I took down the deer fencing on this side. We have lots of deer, and I've found deer pellets in the garden, so they're definitely in the garden this spring, although we don't have much growing yet. I was actually just going to check to see if, I think we have some garlics. Look at that. The garlic, we have so much mulch on here, but we're getting garlics growing through there. So good. So we are starting a few things. This end was planted last fall, but the rest was planted in the middle of the winter. Oh yeah, look at this. That is garlic taking off. Absolutely. And this is the east side, northeast side here. North side here, west side over there. So yeah, we got lots of garlic going. Well, that's good to see. So I think what I should do, because we're going to have more plants coming up through here. We have carrots, we have greens. As soon as it gets warm enough for long enough to germinate those, we're going to have a lot of stuff growing. Potatoes and sweet potatoes too, for that matter. So one thing I'll do real quick is I will wrap this deer netting back around. I gotta just get some zip ties, which I have in the barn. But we'll take this deer netting and reconnect it down here. So we'll enclose this and keep the wild animals out. Not that I mind feeding them that much, but I don't want them eating all my food. Okay, so nothing fancy. We already had the posts in, so just tied the fencing up to this, just to keep the deer at bay. Oh, and I do have one other update. Let me go see if we have any over here. But this week, one of our silkie girls started laying eggs, and this is, I believe it's probably the one who went broody, a month and a half ago, but nothing was fertile, so nothing hatched. I believe it's her. It could be one of the young ones that just started laying. I'm not sure, but those silkie girls are really regular. They lay eggs for about 3 weeks maybe, and then they'll go broody and want to sit on some, which I'm kind of excited about because I don't know how many goose eggs I could give a silkie, but we do want to have one goose, and if we get more, they'll end up being meat. But we want to have one goose that's introduced to the main flock. So actually, I'd rather have one of the big girls go broody for goose eggs. But whoever's broody next, I'm going to give her goose eggs. So we'll see. So a silkie laying eggs means we're going to have a broody girl soon. If you look right here, the big egg is a fake one. But this is a silkie egg. So we definitely have somebody laying eggs. Definitely excited about that. So my thought is when I get that tractor coop made, I'll set up the electric poultry netting on the west, like 2/3 here. So all the way down to that end, and then let them till up and weed the rest of this and help fertilize it. So do you think we could get that made by mid-April? End of April at the latest, so that we can start getting things in the ground like mid-May. We'll see on that. That would give the girls a few weeks to work on the garden before I have to plant it. But like I said, we could do some greens, some cold hardy plants in here. And we could also cordon off some of the beds in here so that these girls can no longer get to some of those and do the same thing in here. In fact, I need to rig up some fencing in there. So we have a corner over there behind the falling apart run where we have some asparagus planted. And that should be coming up soon. So I got to keep these girls from eating the shoots. So I got to rig up some little fencing to keep them out of that section. She's the only girl who'll sometimes let me touch her of the main flock. I think that'll hold over there, but you can see they're wanting to forage back here. Go on, Gus. Go on. Go on. Yeah, get out of there. Keep going. Oh, see if I could get through. Go on. Thank you. Again, that is going to be way more than I need, but I'm just going to have it rolled up at one end and then tack it to the fencing on either side. Now, I'm going to not cut it because eventually I'm going to take and recycle all this hardware cloth that I have on this run, and even some of the roofing pieces. I can do that. So I got to take apart this run basically. So I'll need more fencing to actually keep this blocked off. But for now, I'm just going to set it up so that I can eventually expand it, but it'll still block the girls for now. They could jump over if they really wanted to, but I don't think they would unless they were scared by something and trying to get away from it. So I think that'll hold them out of that corner for now. Technically, they could come through the broken part of the run if they really wanted to too, but I haven't had any problems with that. You guys are busy over here. Yeah. Could you do that in the garden beds? That would be helpful. So on this side we have it's blocked off here, so they can't get back. They do have access to that run area, and there's this big hole in the run, but I've never seen them try to get through that. So I guess I'll keep my eye on it, and eventually we will have to adjust it as I take this run apart. And it's starting to sprinkle, so I am going to say have a good night.